Thank you for listening to 10,000 Stories to Sleep 2, your one-stop channel for a variety of short stories. If you feel up to it, subscribe to the channel for daily uploads so you never miss a new story. Enjoy.
September 14, 2024. The fog rolled through the streets like a shroud, hiding more than it revealed. I stood at the edge of the crime scene, my trench coat flapping in the cold, damp breeze. The artist's loft was a beautiful mess, a testament to creative chaos. But beauty was fleeting in my line of work, replaced by grim reality and cold facts. The victim was Leo Marston, a celebrated painter known for his evocative, almost haunting portraits. His latest work, Eclipsed Dreams, was meant to be his magnum opus. Instead, it would become the centerpiece of our investigation. The first thing I noticed was the unsettling quiet. There was no sign of a struggle, no indication of forced entry. The loft's expansive windows were all shut tight, and the only sound was the occasional drip of water from the condensation on the walls. The coroner's team was already on site, working under the hazy light of their flashlights. They'd identified Marston's body in his studio, sprawled on the floor beside a half-finished canvas. The paint on the brush in his hand was still wet. As I stepped closer to the scene, the lead investigator on the case, Detective Sanchez, joined me. She was in her early 30s, sharp-eyed and unflappable. "Morning, Crowch," she said, her voice cutting through the fog. "Not a lot to go on so far. No witnesses, no clear motive." I nodded, scanning the room. Marston's studio was as one would expect of a renowned artist, canvases propped against the walls, tubes of paint scattered about, and sketches strewn across every available surface. Yet something felt off. "What's the story with the canvas?" I asked, pointing to the partially completed painting. Sanchez shrugged. The coroner mentioned the paint was still wet, could mean he was working on it when it happened. I took a closer look. The painting was an unsettling blend of colors and shapes, but what struck me was the prominence of eyes that seemed to follow me around the room. Marston's signature style was unmistakable, but this felt different. Darker. I felt a shiver, despite the warmth of my coat. September 15, 2024. The next day, I started canvassing Marston's circle, his friends, colleagues, and rivals. I quickly learned that Marston was a magnet for strong opinions. His work evoked passion, and not all of it was positive. A visit to his studio assistant, Clara Hayes, provided a lead. Clara was a young woman with a talent for art herself, but who seemed overshadowed by Marston's genius. She spoke of Marston's recent obsession with a new subject matter that was troubling. He was fixated, Clara told me, her eyes darting nervously. He kept talking about a dark presence in his work, something that was creeping into his paintings. I asked her if she knew of anyone who might have wanted to harm Marston. Her response was vague, though she mentioned a recent heated argument between Marston and a fellow artist named Jonathan Blackwood. I couldn't shake the feeling that Blackwood's anger might have masked something deeper. September 16, 2024. The breakthrough came in the form of an old journal, discovered in Marston's desk. The entries were cryptic but revealing, a reflection of Marston's growing fear that his artistic vision was being compromised. One entry stood out: "The shadows are closing in. I see them everywhere, in every brushstroke. They're coming for me. I have to finish it before it's too late." It became clear that Marston was deeply troubled, his work reflecting a descent into paranoia. The journal hinted at an obsessive fear of someone or something that was never directly named. September 17, 2024. I revisited Marston's studio, searching for anything I might have missed. As I examined the unfinished painting once more, a realization hit me. The eyes in the painting seemed to form a pattern, a series of symbols that resembled a code. With the help of a cryptographer, we managed to decipher it. The code led us to a hidden compartment in Marston's studio, containing a series of letters and documents that revealed a secret collaboration between Marston and Blackwood. They had planned a groundbreaking exhibition that would combine their works. However, the project had soured, with both artists growing increasingly distrustful of each other's motives. The final piece of the puzzle fell into place when we interviewed Clara Hayes again. Under pressure, she confessed that Blackwood had threatened Marston over the project. Marston had planned to expose the secrets of their collaboration, leading Blackwood to a desperate act. Blackwood was arrested later that day. He confessed to the murder, driven by fear of his own work being overshadowed and a belief that Marston was about to destroy his reputation. Epilogue. The case was closed, but the shadow of Marston's work lingered. His final painting, Eclipsed Dreams, remained as a haunting testament to his troubled mind. I stood before it one last time, the eyes of the painting seeming to watch me as I left the studio. The fog outside had lifted, but the shadows remained. In my line of work, resolution comes with a price. For Marston, it was his life. For me, it was a reminder of the dark recesses of the human mind and the art that sometimes brings those shadows into the light. Detective Crowch.
The end.